Welcome to the Connected Enterprise Podcast. This is Carl Lewis, your host, and my guest today is Karen Behnke from Juice Beauty. Karen, welcome.
Hi, Carl. Thank you so much. So great to be talking with you.
Yeah, good to see you again, too. I'm just going to have you tell us a little bit about Juice Beauty and about your role there at the company. I know you're a founder of the company, so that's pretty significant. So tell us a little bit about the history of the company and where you guys are at now.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Juice Beauty is actually 16 years old now. Crazy. So Juice Beauty, Carl, can you believe it? It's 16 and a half years old now. It's unbelievable. And we've been cleaning up the beauty space since 2005. And basically, we are antioxidant rich skincare and plant pigment makeup. So we're a beauty company and we specialize in organic ingredients, organic products. So when we've been called the OG of this whole clean, natural, organic movement. And of course, originally that made me feel a little old, but I guess it's because we started our company so long ago and we helped pioneer the whole clean beauty movement.
And where do people find your products at?
Juice Beauty is sold at juicebeauty.com and in every Ulta Beauty store nationwide and Ulta.com, Sephora International. And then also we have other great US retailers like Dillard's and Bloomingdale's and Credo and yeah.
Lots of places. Well, congratulations to you guys for that. And I just wondered, tell us how many employees do you guys have today and things like that?
Well, we have just under 100 employees and we are headquartered in Sonoma County. And we have a beautiful solar powered warehouse and studio and corporate headquarters in southern Sonoma County, which in Petaluma. And then our Juice Beauty farm is located in northern Sonoma County, which is Healdsburg, in the beautiful, beautiful Dry Creek Valley. We have a 20-acre vineyard and olive grove there where we organically farm and we're farming our grape and olive ingredients.
Wonderful. And how do those employees split up between, kind of operations, admin, things like that?
We have about, I'd say, let's see, 35 employees at corporate, which is supply chain, operations, sales administration. We have in-house product development. So we have 2 cosmetic chemists, quality control, myself, marketing, and then juicebeauty.com digital. And then our headquarters is also attached to our warehouse. We have our distribution center management there. And then of course, all of our distribution center workers that pick and pack and assemble kits. And we don't do any manufacturing here, but we have all the shipping and receiving in corporate headquarters.
Right. So when this whole pandemic thing hit, you guys were a prime target for some people have got to be there and some people can probably do things elsewhere. How did you guys handle that? What were your initial adjustments and how prepared were you for it?
I'm not sure anyone was prepared for COVID because who's been through this before that's alive right now, a pandemic like this. Yeah. So I think we had really great systems in place, which is amazing, but we certainly had to shift a lot. And from the distribution center, we quickly realized we're an essential business because we sell hand sanitizer, which we developed right during the beginning of COVID and with one of our great labs. But we also sell shampoos and conditioners and hair care. So those were considered essential businesses because people have to wash their hair. And we also, of course, we specialize in skincare. So skincare cleansers and things like that, moisturizers, sunblock. So those were all essentials. So we could stay open in Sonoma County. And our distribution center manager, David, really did an amazing, and Rebecca and Kimmy, our heads of operations, they did an amazing job setting up very strict protocols with N95 masks and keeping the doors open and, really making sure that the warehouse was safe and testing and just all sorts of things. So Kaiser is right across the street from us. And so they have a great testing system drive-through for COVID. So they did an amazing job. So that shifted, that was the first consideration.
Right.
And then all of our corporate employees literally went remote. And I don't think any of us realized that we had this full access to Microsoft Teams. So just a silly little thing that we didn't realize it was a video type of service.
Right.
So we had that all on our desktops, but we didn't know it. So at least many of us didn't know it. Maybe some people did, but we adapted to that system pretty quickly. And then the biggest shift was our our sales field force.
Mm. So, and I mean, were you fortunate enough that most of your, sort of office folks were using laptops and not desktops and things, so they were able to move very quickly?
Yes, almost everybody was using laptops, although several people took their big screens home
Mm-hmm.
and their their keyboards and things. So they came in to get those. Our finance department pretty much stayed close to the office, but they spread out. So, they could really spread out. So they were safe and nothing happened the last 2 years at all, which was great. Because they had to, checks coming in and just
Right.
making sure that everything was working well operationally. And then we made some big decisions right in the middle of it all. Our corporate lease, our corporate headquarters lease in San Rafael, California, Marin County was up, and our warehouse lease in Petaluma was up. So we decided, and at that point we had 3 locations, and we're a mid-sized business. So we had 3 locations. We had Marin County corporate headquarters, Petaluma, which is Southern Sonoma County, warehouse, and then we have the Juice Beauty Farm in Northern Sonoma County. And it really, COVID made me think, why do we have 3 locations? So we gave up both of our leases, and we decided to expand our warehouse function and moved into a much nicer and larger warehouse in Petaluma down the street. But then it also had some offices adjoining it. So we were able to consolidate 2 locations into one. I'm not sure we would have done that had COVID not hit.
Right.
And it has so many benefits to us. Not only is it, we took on more space, but it's still more cost effective. But now we have one insurance policy for it, one cleaning crew, et cetera. But more importantly, the communication is amazing. I mean, I was just out talking to our distribution center manager 10 minutes ago, and before I couldn't see him face to face as much unless we drove back and forth. So it's really helped us streamline operations. I'm really happy. So there's some benefits that have come out of this crazy, terrible pandemic.
Yeah, opportunity. That's one of the things I wanted to ask you is because I knew you'd consolidated your offices. As you did that, did you approach sort of what the office space looks like a little differently than you did previously?
Well, we did, although I have to say we're maybe more spread out before, but in the corporate, we put all the space into our distribution center for growth, but we're pretty spread out. But now we are rotating our departments. So pretty much like all of juicebeauty.com and sales administration and product development, and pretty much everyone's gone hybrid. So, well, for a while, nobody was in the office, of course, but once we started coming back a bit, everyone started going hybrid. So at any given moment, there's only, half of our corporate group physically in the office. So it's a big change.
So because they're on, I take it like alternating schedules of what department is there on what days and
Correct.
those sorts of things. And so some companies, they've found like they're building, using more of their office space for like meeting space and less of it for private offices than ever before. Have you found that to be true? Or?
Definitely. And we're looking at, we already have, we're lucky, of course, in Northern California that 9 months of the year, you can pretty much meet outside. So we expanded our outdoor space, and we have, I think 4, big picnic tables with umbrellas and all that. So not right now, but in December, but probably, March through, call it November or something, or October, if you came here, you would see people spread out outside. And even if it's a little chilly, we all in California, we all love the outdoors. So, we put on our stem cellular CC cream SPF 30s and pop up the umbrella. And a lot of us wear hats on top of it. And don't forget the tops of your hands to put stems, your SPF 30, your stem cellular SPF 30 on.
Yep.
And we go outside and work. So that has been super safe. So we're really, really happy about that. And so coming up to Petaluma, we were able to expand our outdoor space, and that's going to be just wonderful.
Those are all great ideas. You couldn't do that in Portland very often. We have shorter months. We've had 5 days of snow this week, which we almost never get. So it's been pretty cold. Today I got up and it was like 26 degrees. So that's not an outdoor day.
Right.
Unless you're skiing.
Well, it's cold here too right now, but it's like 50.
Yeah. So it sounds like, you guys made the most of this in many ways, and some of it's been really beneficial, which is great to hear. Did you find that any of your staff people, just in working remote, did they have challenges both, personally and professionally, where they're, just things you had to be able to work around and be flexible with?
I think so. I think one of the things that children, I mean, we, my 2 kids are in college and they're grown and or out of college. And so I can't even imagine having particularly like K through maybe kindergarten through 5th or 6th. That would be really, really, I can't even imagine how those parents did it. And we definitely had some of those parents. So not only did we work with flex time and things like that. I mean, a lot of people had to, they drop off their children maybe at their sister's or their ex-husband or whatever, I mean, there was a lot of shuffling going on. And so of course, we were very flexible. And of course, we never minded if the kids were screaming into the, Zoom meet or the Teams or Zoom meetings. That was what life was like in COVID. And I think that's pretty much life going forward, which we've always, at Juice Beauty, we've always, as I maybe as a founder, because I love kids and dogs, we've always been kid and dog friendly. So we used to have a lot of kids in the office, and now there's a lot of kids on camera at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my 12-year-old grandson has appeared in several podcasts over the last.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're flexible. I think it took some getting used to though for everyone, because in the beginning we all had to figure out how to, when we were at home, how to direct the camera so you didn't get any unintended images in the background, like your spouse walking by or something with their bathrobe open, whatever. We had to really, I think everyone in the business world had to really think about, after the first couple of weeks, oh my gosh, I got to point my camera this way or that way, or,
Yeah, there's some unintended consequences. Do you find that generally now things are a little, they're not completely back to normal, but that are people, are they glad to be back in the office and having that kind of interaction? Has that part, just working together, do you find that people missed that piece of it when they weren't able to do it?
I hope so. I think some people do. And I think some people are, pretty used to working at home now. And so it's going to be an adjustment because, I feel and our leaders feel that we do need in-office interaction, and it doesn't have to be 5 days a week, but we find that it's very valuable. And I think hopefully a lot of younger and up and coming, people that are just starting into the workforce for the first 5 years or whatever, that they understand that FaceTime with the top executives of the company is important. And it's not just if you're you probably won't be in a one-on-one meeting with the top executives if you're just starting out your career. So, but you could be walking by them or walking through the cafe or going by the picnic tables outside or something. And I think, I'm not sure, I think that's something that, I would give advice to, not just at Juice Beauty, but anywhere, that, don't underestimate the power of that if you're career oriented. Some people aren't, but if you're career oriented and you want to make an impression and you're really wanting to get ahead, that FaceTime with the top executives that, again, you may not ever be in a one-on-one meeting with, is I think is really critical. And I know it's different now, but I'm not sure. I still think that's very critically important.
Yeah, I think even you're right, even at my level in my career, I don't, I'm not in any meetings with the president of our company, whether they be virtual or one-on-one. And we seldom do kind of all hands meetings.
Right.
So it would only be like, someplace where we both went in a more casual setting together. And I've been to dinner with them many times when we've all been together and we've been at the same table together. And we know each other well, through the years, but it's all been, kind of this more casual interaction. And it's valuable, extremely valuable. Even if you're not a new person in your career, you're on the last leg of it like I am. I think you sort of miss that, I know the person who runs this whole thing, right?
It's
And
really, it's really important. You're right. It's not just because I'm always thinking about the younger crew, but you're right that even people that report to me, it's really valuable to have that FaceTime. For instance, our head of international, Serge, he normally he lives in near Amsterdam, and normally he would be here 3 times a year. Of course he's always been on camera and everything, but in our management meetings, but it's really, we've always valued having FaceTime with him and getting to know him a little bit better. And so it was really wonderful when I went to Paris kind of before the new variant came out, right after the boosters, and it was pretty safe and all that. Didn't
yeah,
get COVID, so I guess it was safe. But and I was able to spend time with him and one of our other wonderful, wonderful chemists over there. And it was so valuable, it was
yeah,
just so valuable to literally sit down and not only socialize, but to sit down and hash through business issues face to face. So
right.
I really enjoyed that. So you're right, really all levels.
What have you guys done much recruiting over the last couple of years?
We have so many departments that were super stable and have been, I don't know, our warehouse operations, supply, our chemistry department, QC, sales field, sales team, et cetera. But we had a couple departments. Our digital department had some turnover. So we were recruiting during that time when everybody else is recruiting, but I'm
Right,
happy to say that we just have such a great crew. So it was challenging too, because there were people that we hired that we had never met face to face.
right.
And I crazy, right?
We make work what we have to make work. Did you find it, I mean, was it harder than typical to find people, qualified people? Were people, did you just find a reluctance in the marketplace, or were you fortunate enough that, you guys sort of live in the area where there's lots of folks to choose from? So,
Well, I think we were fortunate in that we were able, because Juice Beauty is a very unique, beauty company. We're still one of the few organic ingredients companies out there to see a quote naturals and all this that aren't regulated. So so we and not a lot of brands have their own farm. So we do attract a lot. We attract a lot of celebrities. We attract a lot of resumes. But I think it was the hard part for us. So recruiting wasn't hard. The hard part for us was sifting through and finding out who's really passionate about it, who's really, mission driven, who's really career oriented and things like that. And then also just working through the schedule, this person's really good, but they're really far from our corporate headquarters. Will that work eventually, or
right.
should they be hybrid all the time? And so, just working through those issues that were kind of all new to us is, without meeting people face to face.
Yeah, I think, it seems to me like it sort of expanded the geography of where I could choose people from. But then I had to ask myself the question, but is that what I should really do? Is that really, if I want people for 3 to 5 years, is that a 3 to 5 year thing? Can that work? Or is it just an 18-month and I got to move on to the next thing experience? So you can invest a lot as a company and not really get any return for it.
Right.
I think a lot of people struggled with that because we certainly have hired more people remotely than ever before. right? And we're sort of, they don't ever have to come to the office, right? So
Yeah.
who
And
knows how that's going to work out over 5 years? I just don't know.
and Carl, let me ask you, because you're in the whole, SAP, IT, to high tech, digital, et cetera. Are you finding that a lot of the resumes are a lot of people that are staying in their jobs in that area 12 months, 18 months? Because I think that's what surprised us, all the resumes that come in. It's 12 months, 12 months, 12 months. I'm like,
Yep.
wow, those are job hoppers. But
I actually think that's a trend among younger people in their careers now, is that they are very career minded, but they're sort of, the way they think of it isn't like you and I may have, where I really wanted to find a place where I could be like I have been, like 20 years in the same career. And it's been only two companies, and one of them was mine, right, over that period of time.
yeah,
So they really want to kind of move from company to company, learn a little bit, take it to the next one, learn a little bit, take it to the next one. And they're always leveraging that. Uh, I waited to be sort of given a raise. I did never ask for one.
mhm,
They purposefully ask for one on the next job they go to,
mhm,
right? That's part of that. So I think it's a cultural change, and the pandemic has escalated that, in the IT world in particular, that I'm
yeah,
a part of. I see that a lot. We have, uh, prior to the pandemic, we had about 20% turnover.
well,
I think, I don't, and I know that initially we sort of reduced our HR department, and that was a mistake probably, because we soon found out we needed all those people back that we laid off. We didn't lay off maybe 10, 12% of our workforce, but we needed them all back, right?
mhm,
And then we were challenged to find enough people.
mhm,
So every day, if I look at our website, there's 10 to 20, headcount that we're looking for all the time.
yeah.
And that HR has become a much more important piece of our recruitment, mentality. So with all this stuff, all the things you guys have done, and not different than anybody else, you've just kind of adapted to what life has dealt us. Do you see, any big changes, any trends towards 2022? What's going to happen next year in terms of just the whole employee and working experience?
Well, I think hybrid's kind of a thing to stay. I mean, I think employees have gotten used to that, and so I think that's definitely a trend to stay. I hope that, again, in our, just talking about, how long people stay in positions, I hope that that trend doesn't stay. And again, for Juice Beauty, we don't hire anybody in the other than digital that maybe has shorter tenures at companies, because in the other areas, everyone we hire are at least 3, 4, 5 years at their last company. So we're pretty, and we find that works for us, because it may not be 20 years, but 3, 4, 5 years, we feel like they really like, they don't like to hop around. But it'll be interesting in the digital world if that trend stays. 12 months, 18 months. I'm not sure it's great for I'm not sure it's great for the company or a person, but they might get more money and get ahead a bit. But will they really be qualified, and will they really learn enough to go to the, to bump
Yeah.
to the next levels? I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if that is a good trend. It might stay, but I'm not sure it's a good one. But I think the good part of the trend is really valuing employees even more. I mean, the workforce is tight, and we want to come out of COVID to value our employees even more. I mean, before COVID, we used to do a lot like yoga every week and lunches every week and things like that. That all stopped for obvious reasons. You couldn't teach yoga in the office, and nobody was coming to a group lunch, luncheon. So, but I hope we get some of those things back, and I hope just the general mentality is just hopefully valuing one another even more. I mean, everybody, up, down, sideways, everything.
Yeah, I hear that. In my own line of work, it used to be that you didn't become a consultant, until after you'd maybe worked for 25 years and really had some knowledge, and then you had something to offer. Now we have a whole group of people that are coming out of college as a consultant, and I'm not sure I would hire them for my business, but because I'd want them to be working in a junior position at least for a while.
Absolutely.
Um,
Get some
and
operational experience. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think you're right. That's a really good way to close our time together today, is that we will all value everyone more. I don't know about you, but I've lost 3 friends because of this.
Ah,
One of them, one of my dearest friends and my career mentor,
ah,
that really got me into this industry and put me on solid ground. And so I just released my new book, and I had already written a forward piece in the preface dedicating part of this book to my friend Forrest. And then 2 weeks after I'd written that, he had passed away.
I'm so sorry,
It
Carl. Oh
was
my God.
and so I definitely come out of it with those same feelings. I will treasure the people I know much more,
Yeah.
and I will not procrastinate letting them know that.
Yes. That's a
um,
that's the great words going into 2022.
yeah, grab them all, let them know, because
Yes,
we don't know what 2022 holds just yet.
that's right. That's
Sure.
right.
Well, Karen, thank you so much for spending time with me and sharing with us, how Juice Beauty is navigating these uncertain times. And it's great to hear the story. And good companies always find a way. And you guys are certainly doing that. And look forward to when we can see each other again face to face.
Thank you, Carl.
Till then, everyone stay connected.